So, as I've mentioned, the psyop that's been around me to create this false reality, right? Uh, with me, I've been surrounded by people like this person. Unfortunately, I so want to unblur her face because it's just exactly what I've been saying. It's so gimmicky. She's trying to make herself like this fierce, evil being. But I can see through her, right? I see she's just a trash that wanted to live this fantasy, right? I can see the fragility in her. I can see how easily she can break down. And of course, I know for me as a target individual, horrible things are gonna happen to me. But what they wanted to also always present themselves as is this like adventure. By the way, this person, right? I know it's on Tinder. Like, they know that I'm gonna be on like dating apps and things like that because when I'm bored, I go there, just more for entertaining, swiping. And so I know that a lot of people I see on these profiles are people who they know that I'm gonna see them, so they always use this like profile as a way to kind of disturb me one way or try to like present themselves in certain ways. Now, this person, you see her, the way she looks, she's trying to look at this intense way. I'm like, you're such a clown. I could say Roy Moore to her face and she would want to run away. So I know what they truly are. The thing is, I understand my situation. I'm a target individual. I'm being used as a subject for this torture. I understand this is just a trash that the government uses. You can see here saying she's a physician or whatever. Saying, like, listen, there's a lot of very smart people involved in it. So I know what this is about. Do you think DARPA doesn't have a lot of physicians and doctors? They're delusional. Now, in the last picture, when you see her, and as I'm saying that, it's stimulating me because I'm going to talk about this. She's holding a baby. At first I didn't know if the baby was a boy or a girl, but then below she says something about, that's my niece, right? And so basically, they wanted me to look at this kid and get the stimulation they force people to have and be like, no, we mapped it to you when you were a kid. Now, obviously, it's the things they do. They force you to get stimulations. It's nasty, and you're going to hear that. But imagine this trash. Trying to be a fierce, femme fatale like woman, right? She's evil, she's mean, she's here to protect the children. And then you're going to hear the problem with so much pedophiles in this agency. And look at this person. It's just the reality, it's just nasty. If anything, I look at her as like, she's just a trash-ass pedophile. It's just so disturbing. Because I know who's running the show. And when I see her, and I'm like, why is there so many pedophiles in this agency? And I look at bottom feeders like her. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. There's nothing fierce about her. It's just a coward bottom feeder that will torture a child as young as the niece that she's showing in the picture. And try to block out. I can see the delusional reality of her. I'm sorry if I did not let you live your fantasy. They wanted to come up with this fantasy that I was going to see this femme fatale avenging women and the way she's looking at me. I'm telling you, I wish I could unblur this, but I don't want to give that, I don't want to really show. It's just a concept of what's happening around me. Try to be like, oh, we're evil. No, you're a trash work for pedophiles. The entities that contract this trash ass are filled with pedophiles. And when I see her and I listen to what they do to children and women, and why is there so many women involved in this, I can only look at her as like, it makes sense. She just wanted to be like, oh, I'm so mad. It's like, I know you rape women till the point of suicide. I know you do the pedophilia type of torture, and I know you torture children. And guess what? These entities contracting you low life. Oh, there's a lot of pedos doing things to kids, 2-year-old, 6-year-old, almost the age of the kid that you're holding there. Which kind of, I don't know if there's an actual correlation there, but it's something worth kind of like be kind of weird that they do the pedophilia type of torture. And a lot of target individuals saying that majority of the target individuals are saying that they're getting this child porn implanted in their mind. I can see her trash as being involved in that. And then finding out those entities running these programs, which obviously is not a femme fatale group of feminists that are doing this. I know that. That's just a psyop. And I see that as that. But they just contracted trash to do what they do to men, women, and even children. Those entities have problem with pedophilia. Pedos are being hired in this intelligence community, even after the fact that there's obvious some kind of knowledge about that, because we know the intelligence community will not let anybody just go in without getting some level of background that we cannot even understand. And if she wants to play, oh no, we're doing it for the, oh my gosh, the amount of women being tortured by this program is unbelievable. They are torturing them in the foulest ways, and they are trying to distance themselves from the reality of the torture they have applied onto women. A high percentage of women are being tortured, and you can see this trash as try to black out, try to show her fierceness. Trash. I cannot stand this bottom feeders, and I cannot stand the psyop they create. I would respect them more if they like, you know what? Yes, we torture women and children. Yes, we do these nasty things to torment you. Yes, we are here frying women to death, and there's gonna be more people because this technology is a technology that gets better with time because we can put more and more people in through this program, so this technology improves it. Now, I understand these people wanted to create a psyop coping mechanism one way or another, because I'm not going to subscribe to that. You know, they would try to tell themselves. Some of them think they are war. They think they're like super soldiers or some sort, some kind of like. When in reality, I mean, like literally, children can be involved in my torment. It will be the same result. It'll be the exact same thing. I mean, they don't need anybody can be involved, and nothing will change because the technology does the work. This ecosystem doesn't like, and the psyop is not working. So what? So listen to what they do and look at their face, right? Oh, this blur of a face. I wish I could show the actual face. And it's sad because in the next picture, it's like her, and you see her. She got dark circle around her eyes. She looks like she needs to like a break. She doesn't look like a fierce person. She looks like a person who's been overworked and needs like a vacation. It looks like she's part of this, like she's being a target individual. But they live this delusional reality, and they're like, oh, they're gonna torture you. They're gonna, yes, I'd rather lose my eye. I'd rather be castrated than having to do what you do. I'm listening to childlike individuals with the level of cowardice that you can understand, saying they're gonna take your eye. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna run to it. You be careful, because I can hear the fragility. I'm gonna scream in pain, but you can scream for nothing. To all my target individual, look at what you could have been doing. Yes, they feel like gods because they're doing these things using this technology that is absolutely amazing in regard to the ability what it can do, but it's also foul how they're applying it on us. And of course, they're gonna feel like gods. But look at how sad and pathetic they are. For me, they're gonna try to compensate. There's gonna be theatrical of torture. They want it to be some fun fatality. Listen, me saying Roy Moore to them, right? And the reason why I say that is because the people who put me in this program spend money on this pedophile. I've seen them just like get super frustrated and tell me, how do you go get raped? As if I offended them by saying Roy Moore. Like that was a provocation. It just kind of brings them back to the reality. That's the thing. So listen to what they do. Listen how nasty they are to women, to children, and the pedophilia type of torture. They manipulate people to experience and try to be like nice you when you're a kid. Listen, you are ran by pedophiles. Entities are these entities from the CIA to the DOD to even DARPA are here hiring, contracting pedophiles. While these trash ass are here try to manipulate me and brainwash me to accepting this nasty manipulation of thoughts and try to make me now we're mapped to and sending this some childlike individuals who try to make me subscribe to this. I would rather be fried to death than having to cover up for pedophiles, having to be involved in a program that torture children as young as this baby that she's holding. And torture women to the point of suicide and try to manipulate people and rewire their brain in these disturbing pedophilia ways and try to be like, no, we mapped it to you as a kid. When in reality, these people have been doing the pedophilia type of torture. To all my target individuals, stay strong.
A speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom. And every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experienced what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MK Ultra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan.
You mean as far as the Justice Department failing me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that?" I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock up my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both of my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2970 that if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing. and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment. And I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the U.S., in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment, microwave torture,
I've been targeted for 9 years.
24/7.
Please become more aware of this crime and those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our third annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every honest-hearted human being open their eyes to a crime.
My name is Jeanette. I am 56 years old and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a victim of covert electronic harassment and torture. I am a targeted individual.
Wishes to hand down.
Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. It's brutally painful. I have a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, first floor, second floor, 2 garage, backyard, land, everything. Can't live in my house. My neighbors are shooting direct energy weapons through my house. I hold my heart like this. You know why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. Come get me. Oh, Lord, because I think I'm dying. I'm making this video
in an attempt to expose this horrific nightmare.
Hello, I'm making this video to honor the third annual Targeted Individual Day. That's August 29th, 2020. My name is Linda Marie Sharp in Mendocino County, California, United States. I am a targeted person and have been for over 12 years. I am electronically tortured by directed energy weapons.
Hi, my name is Lisa Davis, and I'm in Duluth, Minnesota.
Miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams.
Where Satan's, satanic ritual abuse, and I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And so anyway, my interview with Len, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts.
Old and a 6-year-old, he was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. The CIA did not answer detailed questions, saying only that the agency takes all allegations of possible criminal misconduct committed by personnel seriously. So you're saying the reason why they didn't crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind?
What I said, playing with my dog. Will that attack continue? I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. People, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street thieves, homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society. What I said, playing with my dog. Will that attack continue? I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better version, but this time they are aiming in the use. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children.
Really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you should be shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is, with the voices go, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What?
That's the thing, take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles, like disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is.
Fake tits and tap water. Yeah. The CIA raping children and sexually assaulting children, and they're not being prosecuted? Where are you?
2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children. Of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this used during polygraph exam with more frequency?
Through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check.
And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, she's gonna get shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Gonna get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voices go, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro.